you are. Hello. I'm back. Ha ha. Yeah, I've had a little bit. Well, it feels like I've had ages off, and it's. Oh, hmm. Sun's getting low. I'll keep this brief. It feels like I've been off for a while, but I feel like I released the last episode like not even a week ago, or just a week ago. You know, whoops. I've been dealing with like creative block, and like I couldn't figure out what to do. And then today, I just came on and just started, well, kind of flattening out the area in this city. And yeah, I think what I want to do, I think what this has got me inspired to do is just get this place planned out, you know. Let's get it planned so that, you know, it's like ready for when we have ideas for builds. So we'll get some plots plotted out. And yeah, and then yeah, so well, it's night time and I've already blown up once today, so I don't want to have that happen again. So I'll see you in the daytime. So the first thing I started doing was I started planning out the path that comes from the village. It's going to go alongside the cliff and alongside the wall, and up to connect with the main road. That's right, yeah. The wall. We're going to be building a wall. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be a beautiful wall. It's going to be tube. It's going to be huge. It's going to be a wonderful wall. We got some beautiful craftsmen building it. It's going to be great. Amazing. It's going to be the best wall I've ever seen. We're going to get the skeletons are going to pay for it. Beautiful people, the skeletons. Very thin. But we're going to get them to pay for the wall. Anyway, I don't know what happened to me there. I got possessed by an evil entity. But yeah, so that's going to go around. Don't want to say the word anymore, just in case, you know, it could happen. And then, yeah, the main road, I want it to go round. The thing is, it's hard to plan out the main road when, like, I've got to get it to line up with this, and then I've got this next to the wall. Why did I angle it so poorly? Wrong button. Would have been good to just come it straight, but then I wanted it to go an angle because I wanted it to look nice and look crazy and different and make my life a living misery. You know, I just want to make everything hard. Zoom! Oh, I thought that was the zoom! There we go. But yeah, so we're going to be planning out some more builds. Again, we're going to keep them sort of similar size to this, where like fairly big builds. Remember, this is only 2 buildings. They're fairly big, and I want to get some more in. And I want to have a couple different levels of height. So maybe even like this, how, you know, I've carved out a nice kind of curve that will situate down here, and we'll have some more buildings up here, and the main road goes that way. I'm gonna have like they'll splinter off in different directions and everything, and yeah, you know how cities work. I don't have to explain cities to you. You're all educated people. So why don't I continue getting this flattened out, and then when I'm ready to start planning out, I'll bring you back in. Does that sound good? Well, even if it doesn't, doing it anyway. You know, because I can, because I have the power to, you know, to hit the record button whenever. All right, let's try and plan out this road. So I think what I want it to do is kind of go around the front of here, and then it will kind of go in as well. And then let's just have it kind of curled back out, and go along this bit. So now we're gonna have, so this bit, that's like a road will come in here. Then there'll be, so this is where there's gonna be an archway. So we'll have the archway coming through, the road coming down this way. I'll go through here, and I can't place anything in the right place. Yeah, we'll just have this road come up this way. Somehow it's going to connect over there. I'm not sure how, but it will eventually. Let me know, is this something you'd like to do with your builds? Do you like to plan it out like this? Do you plan out where your paths go? Do you plan out where all your buildings are going to go? Stuff is going to go out here. I haven't planned this bit out yet because I haven't actually got the... Hello? How are you? Is it me, or did he just squint at me? No, never mind. You stay up there, or just, you know, die. Anyway, yeah, hit the like button if you like to plan out your builds. And then if you don't, hit the like button as well. Why not? And then let me know in the comments which one it is that you do. Do you prefer to just kind of go with the flow? Are you like water? Do you go with the flow? Or are you a bit more regimented, like a brick, where you just go, I will go in this pattern. This will be my place. I will go here. La-di-da-di-da. Lovely, lovely, jubbly. In my tubbly. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. But yeah, let me know. So this is where sort of the main bits of road will go. Coming through here, we'll have one bit go off that way. This is going to come round like this. We're giving enough space that we can put some buildings over here and some offshoots and have little neighbourhoods, I suppose. Oh, we'll come through this bit like this, like a so, and then it goes up there. And I think we'll continue this bit down until we hit the water. Like, obviously, we're not going to just go, and the path goes into the water. You know, we're not going to do that. But this, again, gives us space to have some builds. And as we're having that tunnel that goes through there, they're really exploring. Like, this is going to be sort of like the harbour side, and that will connect up to here. So you can get to it two different ways. Ah! So it's not like a little cul-de-sac. You can get to it two different ways. You have like a thoroughfare, and I don't know if that's the right word, but anyway. Yeah, that's the sort of the main road. And let's get a bit more of an aerial view, not to get too close. We'll just go up, and we'll have a look, see what it looks like. So, I mean, I think that's pretty good for just like a standard road. Like we've got like this bit coming off. I could potentially extend it through that bit. No, I quite like that. I quite like that, having just one random offshoot of like a fairly main road going off that way, just to kind of cover where our library is, because that's a fairly main building, a fairly main structure. So I think this is a good layout so far for our roads. We just put these main roads in for now. And now I'd say it's time to plan out some buildings. Okay, so I have gone through and I've put in just a few buildings. So this is the one big diagonal one that could be split up into multiple ones and have different heights and everything put in there. And then this sort of collection of buildings where this could be like there'll be a little archway, and then like this will be a bit taller on top. We've got some buildings, and you can see the fun roads can go in between and everything, and this could be a tower up, so you can come in. I think it's always good to come and get like an aerial view, or as close to an aerial view as you can get, just to make sure that it feels good. Because sometimes when you're down on that level, they're still there. Oh. When you're down on that level planning stuff out, you don't always realise like how how it will all look when it's all together, or how the floor, the sort of the how like busy it looks together. So it's like, if you have a map, that's perfect, because you can see like this with all the paths. It's kind of hard to see everything, but there is a path, there's a building, there's a building, yeah, it's kind of busy. But anyway, with this you can kind of see how big they are, and then this would kind of show up quite nicely on here, and I've tidied it up anyway. But anyway, that's besides the point. If you can't just get a map to kind of see what it's like, getting an aerial view, or get high up, and you'll be able to see roughly how your build's turning out. And I think then you can get an idea of going, right, is this too big? Is this too busy? Do I need more? And then you can kind of go, no, I like it like this. I've got good plans. I like that. And then you can kind of go from there and kind of keep going. And this is, I would say, this is weirdly like a really good way to beat creative block, which is why I'm doing it. Like, if you're not sure what you want to build, like, plan it out. You can just throw a few shapes on the ground, and then go into like a creative world, or just go into this world and just start building, start just experimenting with it. It's like writing a book. Some of the best advice from writing a book is to just start writing. Don't necessarily write with a purpose. Like, don't write to say, I'm going to write 5 chapters of my book, my amazing novel that's going to change the world. Don't do that, because then, well, first off, that's far too much pressure on yourself. And secondly, like, if you're doing that, if you're trying to do that with a purpose, sometimes you get so bogged down and going, oh my goodness, I have to do this, I have to get this done. If I don't hit my deadline, I'm going to feel like a failure. Oh, this is terrible. Why have I done this to myself? And it's not it's not really a great way to approach it. It's like, obviously, if you have a deadline, work to that deadline. But if you're just doing this for fun, or it's a hobby, or like you want to do something, or it's a creative thing, you need to kind of set yourself loose boundaries, I'd say, or loose like deadlines, or just sometimes just have fun with it. So just go into that writing a book by just writing a random conversation between two characters. Don't have to be any characters from your book. It could just be two characters having a conversation. Like, one person, is having an argument with another person. They're having a great conversation. It's two people who haven't seen each other in years and they're talking to each other. Or it could be anything. That's the same principle, I'd say, to creative block in Minecraft. If you're not sure what you want to build, and you want to build something, but then you're not sure what you want to build, just throw down some shapes. It's like dancing. Just throw down some shapes and see what happens. Like this, I had no idea what I was going to plan out. Did I know I was going to do this? I knew I would put a diagonal building there because there's a diagonal wall. I didn't know I was going to build that shape. That just kind of came to me as I was building. I was like, yeah, why not? Let's do that. Done. So this will allow you to come up with like a new creative idea. It'd be like, oh, I didn't think of building it that way. That's a really cool idea. Oh, and you put these shapes and you go like, yeah, I mean, I didn't plan to have an archway, but then I put that one shape down and I went, oh, if I mirror it on the other side, I can put an arch in. And this is sort of a great way to approach it, and to approach any kind of creative task. If you're not sure what you want it to look like, just throw down some shapes. Just throw down some shapes and see what happens. But yeah, I'm gonna go throw down some more shapes. Drop the beat. Oh yeah. I feel like that was such a good message, and then I rambled off at the end, and it kind of just lost its punchiness. But yeah, I mean, I can't even think of a good way to end it now. Just go throw down some shapes. Yeah. You want to know the best bit about just throwing down shapes? You can change it whenever you want. So, I mean, these haven't changed. I added a little bit here, but then I got to this bit, and I was like, I want this to go up. I want this to go up a level. I want there to be like different levels, not just like one block and then that just sets the building off by a block. No, I wanted it to be like visibly different heights, so you have different areas, and I think this is really cool. So this is like a really cool thing that you'll see in not many cities nowadays because they're all fairly flat, But you'll see it in like high fantasy cities. So think of like Edoras has lots of different layers. Minas Tirith has a lot of different layers. Lots of rings around going up. What about anything that's not not Lord of the Rings or Tolkien? I mean no, actually no, that doesn't. I'm sure there's other cities, other places where they'll be just a little bit higher up, and you'll have another layer, like above it, like a cake, like an ogre. Ogres are like onions. There you go. It'll be like that, and we'll just have like another layer. And then this means we can add in a different highlight accent color at the bottom of our buildings. So like how the super fancy main buildings have green around them, these buildings have red on this level. So these ones in here will all have red. I'm thinking maybe the ones over here will have a different color. The pier, the Docklands area, that's definitely going to have a different color. Maybe not blue because that might be a bit on the nose. I was thinking actually blue up here on this level because they're closer to the sky. No, I don't know. I have to sort of come up with some colours and everything, but it would just add a little bit of like vertical interest because you'll have these buildings and you'll have some more buildings up taller. And then if they have any spires like this, like any little towers, that's going to really poke over the wall. And it'll look really cool from our nameless village. Hint, hint, still no names. But yeah. No, my potatoes! No! But yeah, I thought I'd just bring you in and just show you how throwing shapes can just change as you're throwing them. You start off with like a and then you end up with a boom, boom. All right, I have spent hours, hours doing this, just building up this sand around the edge. Sorry. Then going and getting something to place the sand on top of, because I'm not going to fill that up with sand. That's like, what, 3-4 blocks? That's 4 blocks tall. That's a lot of sand. It took so many stacks of sand just to fill the top of that thing. Imagine if I'd filled the whole thing. Would be madness. But I've finished it now, and nailed it. Where's my block? Here it is. Don't want to just leave that there. Now we can't see anything. Bear with me. Ow, my ankles. And gotta be careful. Yeah. There we go. So yeah, I've filled out this top layer here, with some plans. These are pretty wacky and wild ones because you know there's a wall it goes up against. A wall, a beautiful wall. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be the greatest wall you've ever seen. It's gonna be beautiful. We're gonna get the best worksmen. Sorry. Again, that word, you know, we've got to be careful. Yeah, I've got the path comes up here a bit. Yep, nailed it. So on here we can see we've got a couple buildings. This might be like just a smaller obelisk, not that obelisk. Maybe just a smaller one. Maybe just a small house. There's got to be smaller houses in here somewhere, you know. There's some real funky shaped ones. This one is like one that's like it's angled, but then there's like a jut out bit for like a door. Oh, it was a weird lag spike. Hang on, let me just. There we go. Right, hopefully that'll help. We got this one that butts right up against the side here. This is gonna be a tower. Gotta love a little tower. We'll have like a door in here, kind of thing. Not all of these I've put doors on. But that's my own thing. I've got to figure that out. I put a tower there, and then this kind of comes down. There'll be another wall there, so it'll be like another layer. But then I might have some houses going along the side, because this is quite the wide road otherwise. And, well, we could save a little space by putting some houses. But that's for another episode. What I wanted to do was, I wanted to plan out this bit for definite. Because this is like, if I plan out the whole city, it might become quite overwhelming, and you're like, oh god, there's so many things to build! Where do I start? Whereas now, it's just one little complex, two, obviously this structure along the side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, no, that's all just the one. So 6, 7, 8, 9. It's like 9 things to work on, plus like kind of detailing up the sides, adding sandstone and everything, and all that beautiness, all that beautifulness. It's a lot less like, oh my goodness, like there's too much to do. Whereas now it's just like I can focus on these 2 buildings first or something, and then I can come up, as this will kind of cover up some of the wall. No. Fight the urge. Fight the urge to do an impression. Anyway, this will fill up this area quite nicely because we've already started on this area, so that's perfect. And then we can work on this area up here. But I think one thing I'd quite like to do first is I need to set up. This is going to sound crazy, but I think I might need to set up a bamboo farm. I know, crazy. But that way we can use it as like a burning thing and a building block. And I think that'll be really good. And maybe we need to go and find some more, or find some mud so that I can pack it, just, really pack it in, and then use that as a path. Because that's what I'd quite like to use as a path around this area, to kind of break it up from, the village. So, yeah. But I think I'm going to leave it there for today. We're getting a bit long in the tooth, this episode. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed the episode. Subscribe if you did. Subscribe if you didn't. Maybe you'll like the next one, or maybe you'll like one of the other ones. I'm sure on the screen somewhere, you can't see, but I'm pointing with my hands, IRL in the real world. There'll be some videos on the screen. Click them. You never know, you'll love them. Yeah. As I said, like, subscribe, comment, all that. Villager names, please. Not all village names as well. We've got Horace, who we need to name as one of the villagers. I'll put a poll up for which one. And yeah, so I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Ow.